Hey everybody, it's Dirt Hawk here. Been a while since I did a video, but I got a little something here that I found back in 2017. It was in February, and to give you a little background on it, it was found at a golf course in Elkton, Maryland, called Patriots Glen, and a good friend of mine was a superintendent up there, Christy, and he called and asked me if I wouldn't mind coming up there and try to locate some of the shutoff valves for the sprinkler system in the fairways. So I spent a couple days up there and probably found about 80–85% of the valves for him, and in doing so I hit a few good targets. And this area had been an old colonial home site years back in the early 16 or 1700s. And anyhow, I got a good signal and dug this thing up, and I put it in his, I looked at it and I said, it looks like a piece of wrought iron or forged iron. And he had a work cart there, and I just took it and threw it in the back of the work cart and on a pile of dirt, and I forgot about it. Well, Chris took it home, and he hung on to it for several years, and a few times told me that he still had it and that he thought it was a gun. Now, this thing was encrusted in rust so bad that, I really didn't think it was. So, about a year or so ago, I went down to visit Chris, and he got the gun out, and I took a look at it, and I said, yeah, maybe that is an old black powder pistol. So I brought it home, and I put it down in the basement in a bath with apple cider vinegar, and I left it in there for 2 weeks. Well, actually for a week. And then I went and changed the apple cider vinegar and put it in for another week. And man, you should have seen the rust that came off of it. I really missed a good opportunity to, do a video on the restoration of this thing, but that's water over the dam. Anyhow, after that, I put it in another solution that cleaned off smaller rust, and then I took a wire brush to it, and once it dried out real well, I painted it with rust inhibitor, and it actually turns the rust black and more or less preserves it from rusting anymore. So without further ado, I want to show you this little thing. It's pretty neat. Hang on a second. Okay, I hope you can see that. I've got a small light here, and obviously there's no wood left to it. But this thing is very old, and this is the approximate length of the barrel. The barrel is kind of rusted out. I don't know if you can see down in there, but I put a pencil down in there, and it's not loaded. It wasn't loaded. And also, I noticed that there's a ring around the barrel right here. And from what I could find out in doing some research, back in the day, they actually made these barrels, some of these barrels or these guns, so you could screw them off and replace them, I guess, if you shot them a lot. But this thing's small. It's kind of, I'd say it's kind of like a boot pistol. And you can see the length of it compared to this pencil. Okay. Now, obviously right here is the hammer, and this would be where the nipple is for the percussion cap. That's pretty well rusted closed. And what amazed me on the back here, you can actually still see a spring, and it's pretty pliable. It's pretty pliable and it's stiff. You can bend it a little bit, and that's for the hammer. I hope you can see that pretty good. Okay, now there's no trigger guard left on it, but you can see places where it was, right here, I believe, and up here. And then there's the actual remains of the trigger, right here. So I thought it was a pretty neat gun, and I tried doing some research, and I noticed in the books, even some books that I have, that most of these hammers are located on the side of the pistol. Now this one's different because it's actually, as you can see, right in the center. If anybody is, an authority on these type of pistols, I'd kind of like to know maybe where it was made, or any kind of information that somebody could give me on it would be greatly appreciated. So basically that's it. Pretty neat old find. It just amazes me how this stuff stays so well in the ground for 200-300 years. It's pretty solid. Now that you can see that the barrel was rotted out here, but I don't think the barrel was much longer than this. This maybe looks like the end of it. So anyhow, if anybody can give me some help on it, I'd be curious to find out what what error it may have been made and who made it. I guess a lot of these pistols were made in England back in those days. Of course, and then they were shipped over here. But hey, anybody out on YouTube, give me a comment on this thing. I'm really interested in finding out more information on it. Thank you guys very much. Keep on swinging. Dirt Hawk here.